All right, I think we're coming back now, everybody. So there we go, we're back live again. So oh no, it looks like my Amazon one like conked out on me. I got to start it all over again. Oh no. Let's see if I can just start streaming again on Amazon. So I just need to give me 1 second, folks. I got to see if I can like replicate this live stream. Oh, I can copy it. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to copy that live stream. We're going to redo it here. So what was happening, everybody, is that it's a good thing I'm recording now. As you all know, I have very limited upstream bandwidth, and I was trying to send an editing project to Jake to start working on it, but it was conking out because of a lack of bandwidth. So I've disabled the upload. Hopefully that will make things work. So this is the hat. And again, these are blinking right now for me, but they are not blinking for you. Let me see if there's it has different stuff. Okay, so let me cut over here. 3, 2, 1. All right, so here we go. There's a couple of different things that you can do with the hat. So you can push down the button here and have them blink, or you can have them kind of twinkle. So that's the hat. Pretty cool stuff. Might be fun for the holidays. My kids and I are going on a couple of holiday things here in my hometown. So we've got a cruise that we're going on, and we're doing a train ride. So I'm going to wear this hat for that. So there you go. All right, so let's move on to the next thing here. And I think what I'll do is probably start next with some of these phone cases that I got in. So we got in a couple of these cases from, again, through the Amazon Vine program. These came in free of charge. I'll have a review of these on the Extras channel in a little bit. So let's pop into these, and let me update my Amazon carousel here as we're going so I can let the viewers on Amazon know what we're looking at. So this first one is the OtterBox Symmetry, and this is a clear case. I had one of these on my original iPhone 10. It feels actually a little bit more rigid than it used to be. I'm going to do a review on these on the Extras channel, so we'll have a little bit more with it. The biggest issue I've had with these, and I'm feeling like it's going to be a problem on this new one, is that this area here weakens up over time. So it gets, gunk gets in there and stuff. So that's the only issue I've seen with these, and this one feels like it might have a similar problem. But that's something that you'll have to kind of experience over time. But that is the Symmetry case. My iPhone 10 survived a lot of falls with this case, so it's very rugged, and it should work out pretty well. Again, these came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. This next one here, let's have a look, is another one that came in from that same program. This is like one of these wallet cases, and this is the OtterBox Strata. So that's what this one is called. And again, it's got kind of a wallet interface to it. You can put your credit card, maybe 1 or 2 in here. I don't think you're going to fit too many cards in this. And the only thing I worry about with these is I don't like things like touching my screen, but it looks like it probably doesn't, depending on what you put in. You're only really going to be able to fit your driver's license and a credit card. There's not a lot of room in there for anything else. So if you've got one card that you carry around with you, this might work. It does, though, keep your camera open. So I guess you could FaceTime with the screen protected. So that's that. If it is not rubber, though. It looks like rubber because it's got some stitching on it and stuff, but it is definitely not rubber. So be aware of that. Let's move on. It looks like my stream is not working properly on YouTube. Let me just refresh the screen here and see what's going on. All right, so let's put this back in here. And all right, there we go. So I had to refresh my screen here, so I was missing the entire chat as we've been chatting. So it looks like you've all been seeing it, which is good. And hopefully the bandwidth will survive now. I am really, I can't tell you how frustrated I am over my Comcast bandwidth issues. And I'm hoping that my state is going to take some action to try to improve the service in areas where there's no competition. So I might be talking more about that pretty soon. All right, so this next thing came in free of charge from Micron. And they are getting back into the portable storage world here. So this is a little SSD. This is called the Crucial X8. I don't think this is up on Amazon just yet. So when it does get up there, we will definitely check it out. And this is the 1 terabyte model. I love these solid state drives, and I get a lot of traffic on these reviews, so we'll be definitely looking at this one in the near future. Right now, we're going to be just unboxing it and taking a look at what it's looking like. There's going to be a lot of these types of devices coming out on the market soon because there's a lot of NVMe technology that is now getting mated with USB-C. And my guess is there's a lot of manufacturers making the controllers that make all this stuff work. So this is the Crucial X8, 1 terabyte, pretty slim, metal case, feels pretty nice. Looks pretty nice, doesn't it? And then it's got a USB-C cable in the box here. And with that, it's got an adapter, so you can use it with your traditional USB port, or you can go with the USB-C. Now what it's got on here, I'm going to get in a little closer on the camera, hopefully we can pick this up. What it's got on here, as it focuses, is a key to it, so you can't plug it in the wrong way, because remember, USB-C can go in either direction, but your old USB connectors go only one way. I'm always nervous about these kind of connectors. I think you should just give them a cable for each, but I guess it's cheaper to go this route. So you just want to make sure you've got that in the right position if you are hooking it up with a regular USB connection. But we will have a full review of this coming soon. And what I would love for you in the chat, but also in the comment stream here, is to let me know like which ones are a priority for you to look at, because I'd love to get some feedback as to what we should be looking at here. So that's the Crucial X8. Again, we'll have a full review of this coming up very shortly, so be on the lookout for that. All right, so let's keep working our way through stuff. Now this next thing came in from overseas. This is a DHL package, as you can see. And this is something you've probably seen on Facebook. And by the way, everybody, keep those questions coming. I will answer those as we get through some of the unboxings here. And I was really eager to try this out. I guess this is one of those Kickstarters, and this is called the Print Cube. And what you can do with this is print on things from your phone. So that's kind of a neat thing. So let's take this out of the box real quick and see what we got. And as I unbox this, I can maybe talk about a few things that I'm seeing in the chat here. So Mark Bessert saw me at Retro World. It's good to see you. That was a fun conference. I really enjoyed the presentation we did there. I have a link to the Retro World presentation, which I'll put down in the video description so you can check that out. It was on FPGAs. And this thing is like really sealed up here. So let's just take out my trusty knife here and just cut away that plastic and see if we can get into it. I'm going to have a lot of a big mess to clean up when we're all done with this. This thing does not want to open up, does it? Let's get this thing opened up here. All right. So again, this is the Print Cube. I don't think you can buy this on Amazon yet. It's still kind of getting out to their early backers. And when I was looking at pictures of this, it was kind of funny because they had HP ink cartridges with this. Now the way this is designed to work, and again, we're going to do a review of this where I actually show you how it works. You know what, we're just going to just mangle the box here and just get into it. This box does not want to give up the goods. So this is the printer. And what you do is you just run it across stuff. And what I want to test with this is exactly how straight the lines are. Is it going to kind of keep you in a straight line, because it's relying on you to actually move the print head across the surface. This will add some convenience because you can print on things you normally couldn't fit in your inkjet printer, but it will also require you to keep things going in a straight line. So we'll have to see how this all works. So this is something I'm eager to play with. And I think some of you may have seen this before on Facebook and other places that you are at online. So yep, it's got a USB Type-C connector, so I'm guessing you have to charge the battery. And then it's got an inkjet cartridge, which looks a lot like an HP cartridge, but it's got a different label on it. So either they pulled the HP label off, or this is like a knockoff cartridge, but I guess it's designed to work with HP inkjet cartridges. So this will be something we'll play around with. Do a search for this because it's rather interesting, and they say it can print on metal. So I'm really eager to see if you could print on the top of your laptop lid or something like that. So again, that'll be something we look at here in the near future. So let's move on to the next thing. And by the way, for those of you watching the recorded version of this, if this looks weird, it's because I am live streaming it out as we're going here. So it's a little less editing with this little project here. All right, so the next item, what's in here? Oh, this one's another, let's see. Yes, I know what this one is. Okay. So what I have to do when I unbox this stuff is update my Amazon stream here to let people on Amazon know what we're about to take a look at. So I'm going to hit that little button there. This is another solid state drive, and it's from a company called CalDigit. And this came in free of charge from CalDigit, by the way, and incidentally, that print cube also came in free of charge from that company. What happens on this channel at this time of the year is that we get a lot of people wanting to send stuff in because we're hitting that holiday shopping season, so everybody wants to get their stuff reviewed. Thank you, Fernie Lopez, for the super chat. Much appreciated, because it's going to be a very busy couple of weeks here on the channel as all this stuff comes in. So this is called the CalDigit Tough, and this is another pocket-sized USB SSD. And I believe this one is also powered with an NVMe drive. And these guys are kind of like the hidden gem of Thunderbolt stuff. They've been doing Thunderbolt with more commitment, I think, than other companies. And this is USB-C. It's not a specific Thunderbolt device, but that's the one thing that I've always liked about CalDigit is that they've believed in Thunderbolt for a long period of time, and they make some really good stuff that people don't often hear about. And it kills me too, because when I review their products, I don't get a lot of traffic on the reviews, but it is a really good product line. So let's take a look at what's inside here. So we have a little thank you card. And ooh, this is pretty cool. Look how tiny this thing is. Aha, now look at this. So here's the difference, right? This is 150 bucks, by the way. They include both cables rather than a cable and an adapter. And you'll also note that this is a 10 gigabit cable because this does support Gen 2 connections. And I think it's NVMe, so we'll put it to the test. It's got a nice case. I like that. And again, we're not going to test this today. We're going to have a full review of this in its own video. And this is the drive itself. So let's open it up real quick. And it's like a little mini version of some of their other rugged drives that we have looked at before. So it's got a nice little rubber sleeve around it. I guess it's splash proof. And I'm guessing it's going to be that way when you have the connector here sealed up. But it looks pretty cool. So you can take this off if you want. So it kind of looks like a Samsung drive, doesn't it? Because we've seen those Samsung drives before. So cool. So we will test this one too. I like these things. So I love portable SSDs. In fact, we use them a lot here on the channel because that's what we edit all the videos with. So when Jake or James are working on edits and they're done, they just toss me the drive and we're moving on. And what's nice about solid state drives is that they're very fast. They're like having little RAID arrays. And for me, what's really nice about editing with these is that I have two different places I work from in the house. So during the week, I'm down here working, but on the weekend or in the evening, I've got a little home office upstairs that I prefer to sit in. So it's kind of nice just to have a drive I can pop out and run upstairs with. So that is the CalDigit Tough Nano. And what I'm going to do now on the Amazon app here is just update what we're looking at next. So this is another thing that you all might find of interest. There's a lot of cool stuff that's been coming in the last couple of days, which is why I'm eager to show this to you. So let me show you what's going to be in this box here. I just have to update my Amazon carousel to update on the next item that we're looking at. And this came in from the folks at Pepper Jobs. And you all might remember them because they made this really nice remote control that we looked at the other day, or the other year, last year. And they also had a really nice mini PC. And what their thing has been is that they try to take a look at a lot of these generic Chinese devices in the market, and they try to make a better one. So their remote control is excellent. Check out my review of it. It's 25 bucks, and it's a remote control, but it's got a keyboard on the back of it, and it's really well executed. I think it's just a tremendously good device. And what we're unboxing here is their portable display that they just came up with. And it'll do what we've seen with other portable displays. Sorry to show you just my torso here. But it's smarter in how they've implemented things. So let's get it out of the box here so you can see what I'm talking about. So let's get that box down here. One thing I found is that when stuff comes in from overseas, they usually package it exceptionally well. Look at this classy box it has here. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these other two boxes off the table so that you can get a better look at this. Because this is a nice, oops, left with a knife there. This is a nice box. So let's get in there and see what this looks like. Yeah, this is kind of like a Christmas unwrapping, isn't it? And by the way, this also came in free of charge because everybody wants to know what I think of their stuff, and I'm okay with that. But I really like these guys because it's not just the usual junk. It's similar to the junk you might find, but it's the best of it, and it's not junk. This is all good stuff. Now, what they did with this display is they've integrated a battery in it that I think they say runs for like 5 or 6 hours. And in the course of that, it will keep the power drain on your device at a minimum, but you can plug it into power if you want. But I don't believe it'll take power through the USB-C connection that you hook up to your computer. But it also has an HDMI input, so it works with the Nintendo Switch as well. So let's pull this off here. And let's see what we got. We got a quick guide. So we'll spend some time with this when I do the full review. But it seems pretty nice, pretty thin display. There is I think there's a case in the box too. So let me show you what we've got here, just to give you an idea of the ports. So we have a HDMI input. We have an OTG input, or output, or both, and a USB-C here. And then on the other side, we have a power connection. Because remember, this will not draw power from the laptop. So you can go off of its battery, or you can plug it in and have it draw power through that source. So it lacks in some ways the convenience of a single cable for everything, but at the same time you'll get the power, you won't have the power drain from the laptop. But he tells me it's not brighter than the other displays that are out there. And this is also a touch display, so it's touch. It'll work with the switch. It's got HDMI in. You can use the USB-C, so you've got a lot of options. And again, this is one of those things that they do better and differently, as they try to make their stuff the best of what you'll see out there. And everything I've tested from them so far has been in that category. So I really like what they're doing, because it's nice to know that you can get something that's going to work. The case here reminds me a lot of the one on the Asus display that we've looked at before. So you have to kind of get everything lined up, and then the case can like fold over and have the display sit up. I don't like these cases, but we'll play with that and get everything going. And then also in the box, we've got power connectors. It looks like there's a USB-C connector. I think there's an HDMI cable. Let's see what we have for that. So it looks like this is probably one of those HDMI. Yeah, so this is a HDMI to mini HDMI, or is that mini? Yeah, mini. And then there is what's this thing? A little stylus. Is that a stylus? Let's see. Oh yeah, oh, you know what? Haha, is this what is this thing? Look, a little stylus. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you could draw on the screen, I guess. Well, that's neat. We'll have to explore that in more detail. That's cool. And then we have another cable. Looks like a USB connector. I am not sure if this works as a USB display for traditional devices. Yeah, this is just an OTG connector. So I'm guessing you'll need to have some HDMI input. But again, it'll work with the switch, so that's cool. And it won't draw power from the switch because it has its own power supply. So we'll have to, actually, I'm not sure how that's going to work. So we'll test it out. We'll put it to the test, and I will tell you all how this is going to work. So that is the Pepper Jobs display. This one I hope to get to next week, actually, because I think this one might be something that you might want to ask your family about for your holiday lists and stuff. So let me switch back here. All right, so that is that. And I am making a mess here. So whenever I do these random unboxing live streams, we get a big mess. All right, this one. This is another thing that you might find of interest. By the way, I think if you're interested, I'm looking up the price right now on that display. Let me go back to my Amazon list here. The price on that display is not up at the moment. Let me see. I'll have to look it up. I think it's about $200 and change. It's about what normally these displays typically cost, so we'll keep an eye on that. All right, now the next item is from TerraMaster, and these guys make NAS devices, and I've never been that crazy about them, primarily because they aren't as good as like a Synology would be, or even a WD in some cases, just because the interface doesn't feel all that great. But the hardware is sound because it's Intel hardware in many cases. They're less expensive than the other ones out there, often though not by much, but this new one, it has me interested, and I'll show you why here in a second when we unbox it. So this one also came in free of charge from TerraMaster. This is a very busy time of the year for consumer electronics companies. So as we unbox this, I will let you know what is new and different and interesting about it. This costs $600, by the way, so just be aware of that. And let's take a look and see what we've got inside. So we have a power connector, Ethernet, a screwdriver for taking it apart, because you need to do that to get it started initially. They got some stickers and screws for mounting your drives in there as well. So they give you everything you need to get started. And this has an Intel chip, and it is running with a, sorry, my phones are ringing here. This has an Intel chip, and it's capable of doing Plex transcoding. So it checks that box. And they just pushed down a new firmware update that they emailed me about this morning. So we have to get that before we start reviewing it. So again, we're not going to set any of this stuff up today. This is just our big unboxing of things to come here on the channel. So this is what it looks like. Nothing spectacular. These come diskless, so $600, and then you got to buy the hard drives. And I got to check and see what the closest QNAP and Synology's cost compared to this one. But the big thing that has me interested here is the fact that this has 10 gigabit Ethernet on it, in addition to 2 gigabit Ethernets and HDMI out. So it's got a good amount of options here for you to use for doing what you do. So good stuff. We're going to take a look at this in more detail very shortly. But in the meantime, stay tuned, and we'll see how this thing tests once we get all the drives installed in it. I do have enough drives kicking around that I can get things going. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm not ignoring you folks in the chat. I am just trying to unbox as much stuff as we can, and then we'll have a bit of a chat about everything as we go here. Now this one, I am not sure what's in this box. I have a feeling I know what's in it, but it's kind of a big box for what we've got here. So let's take a look and see what's inside. There's another box inside. I don't know what this is. I'm not sure if this is something I got for the channel or something else. Okay. All right, so this is one of those odd Amazon things. So we have a box, and we have another box. And you know what's inside this box? Something really small. Here we go. And I have a feeling they probably packaged this especially for the Amazon Vine program, which is why it's got the blue tissue paper. Normally you wouldn't have this much packaging. So this, by the way, came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. This is the spec iPhone 10 Shield. Oh, this is not the thing they were supposed to send me. So they were supposed to send me a case, and this is something different. So it's a one of those tempered glass screens. And I wanted to do something on these iPhone 11 Pro cases on the extras channel. So I got a bunch of them in. I got those two from OtterBox that we looked at here, and then this was going to be the third case, but I thought I was getting a case, not a piece of glass. But we'll take a look at it. One of those tempered glass things. It'll probably help protect your screen from getting damaged in the future, so it might be worth taking a look at. And this, I believe, is like $15. Yeah, $15 for that. But I think they sent me the wrong thing. This was supposed to be a case, so I will take it up with the Amazon folks about that. All right, we got a couple more things to unbox here. This really is kind of like Christmas. I should wear my hat again, wherever it went. All right, so now this next one is huge. Whoa, look how big that is. And this came in from Roku, free of charge, incidentally. And we just did our Roku video yesterday. And now we have this thing. Ooh, what is it? What could it be? It is the Roku soundbar. And I was eager to check this out because a viewer wrote in about it. It's cool. So this is a soundbar that has a Roku integrated with it. And then we got something else related to this, which we'll unbox in a minute. Doesn't quite fit in view of the camera here, as you can see. It is quite large. I think this is not available on Amazon yet, but probably will be soon. And what I'm not certain about is how many speakers it has. So let me take a look and see what we got here. So I'm just going to slice this thing open. And it's funny, the second I start live stream, my phone starts ringing off the hook. So I got to call a bunch of people back in a little bit, but we'll take care of that in a few. All right, so let's get this thing opened up. All right, there's one. And here's the other. And I'm actually eager to see what Roku they put inside of this, because I don't know which of the ones it is. But Lon Dog says this could be a great product. And I think it might be, because it kind of has everything you need for home theater in the box, provided you can play on a Roku. So we have some HDMI cables. I love it when they include the HDMI cables. That is really nice of them to do. Got a power cable, and they smartly give you one of those angled ones, so if you put it close to the wall, you can probably work with it. So that was good. Accessories 2 is batteries, a remote control. Oh, this is interesting. It doesn't have voice search, so that's surprising. And then, oh, so some of you might like this because the other Rokus lack Toslink, but they have an optical Toslink cable here. This cable is if your TV doesn't have an HDMI port labeled ARC. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is an input probably, not an output. So that is that. All right, so, oops. Let's unbox this here and see what it looks like. So I don't think this is Atmos, though, just so you all know. I didn't see any Atmos labeling on it. And I wonder if I can pull this off and see what it's got for speakers inside. All right, so let's take a look at the ports. Oh, no Ethernet either. How about that? But it does appear to have a... The question is whether or not this optical is an input or an output. I think it is likely an output because it's if your TV doesn't have... actually, I don't know. It could be an input, actually. We'll have to see. We'll take a look at the manual. Power is where? Oh, power goes in over there. It's reset, USB, HDMI. So it looks like it's a bit of a different kind of Roku device, but no Ethernet, which I was hoping to see on this. So let's see if this thing can open up. I just want to see what kind of speakers it has on it. This might be glued in. Oh, yeah, it's kind of held down with double-sided tape, maybe. So I'm going to be careful not to break it before I review it. Yeah, I think I'm not going to take this apart just yet. We'll find out what the specs are. I believe there are 4 speakers on this, but there's no subwoofer that's built into the Roku soundbar. And if you're curious, because somebody was asking what the cost is on this, the price is $180. So that's not bad, right? I mean, 180 bucks, you get a soundbar and a Roku in one thing, so not bad. And then the last item to unbox here is this thing. Ooh, it is a big box, and it's a big, heavy box. Yeah, I showed my address, but that's my secure mailbox, so you can send me stuff. All right, so let's open this up and see what's inside. Well, actually, I know what's inside. So this goes with what you just saw there, and I got to put it down on the floor. Ooh. And what this is, hopefully I don't break the desk here in the process. What this is a subwoofer. Let me get you a better angle of it here. That will add bass to your smart sound bar. And if you're curious, this, by the way, also came in free of charge from Roku. This subwoofer, let me look it up on their website here. The subwoofer, I believe, is, let's see, I don't think it tells me the price on their website yet. This is also $180, but the subwoofer doesn't have a Roku built in, but it is wireless, so it will connect to the soundbar wirelessly. And so we'll do the whole shebang when we review this thing. We'll get the subwoofer out and as part of this. So let's take a look here. We got some instructions. Just wait until you feel this, it says. And here's what's nice is that they use, nicely recyclable cardboard here versus styrofoam. So that's good. It smells like a new speaker. All right. Oh my goodness. So I'm guessing this is probably an 8-inch sub. No, it is a 10-inch. 10-inch. Ooh, we're breaking the whole studio down here. It's got a 10-inch subwoofer inside. And it looks pretty nice. So pretty attractive. You know, you could probably have this sitting around your house somewhere. And what's nice is that you don't have to have wires running to it. It is completely wireless. Now I'm wondering though if it gives you the option, let's see, to plug things into it if you wanted to. And it does not appear that way. It's just got a power plug in there and that's it. You can see the big 10-inch subwoofer there. It fires downward. So pretty cool. Let me give you my other angle here so you can see what it looks like. So that's it. So that goes with the sound bar. And we will put that to the test in a couple of days on the main channel. I try to like have the content kind of break up a little bit so we don't have the same thing all the time. So that is that. So that is all the stuff that we have unboxed. And I have made a complete mess out of this studio. But I'm not going to, for those of you watching the live stream, I'm not going to leave just yet. So I'm just going to record a little outro to close out the unboxing. So let me do that real quick and then we will chat for a little while. And then I've got to return some phone calls and upload some videos to Jake to start editing some stuff. So let me record that outro real quick. 3, 2, 1. So that's going to do it for this unboxing of things that just came in. Let me know in the comments section what you would like to see reviewed first, and I'll try to put a priority to what you all think is something we should be looking at as a priority. So let me know down there in the comments section. I hit the notification bell because I do these live streams all the time. I just pop on randomly and start doing stuff. And we'll be doing a lot more on Amazon soon too as well. So click that notification bell, you will get notified and you can tune in and chat with all of us as we're doing this. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right, good. So I'm going to kill the recording here and we can chat for a little bit. All right. Whew. So Sina Farhat wants to know, is it wireless via 2.4 gigahertz? And I am not sure about that on the sound bar. So I will take a look. And I think I've got about 15 minutes before I will need to run upstairs and help out with the wife and kids here. But let me pop open the little flyer here. Let's see. I'm just looking through here to see if it supports Wi-Fi. I know it supports Wi-Fi. Obviously, it doesn't support the other stuff. You know, I don't know on the Wi-Fi. I've heard that this is like the equivalent of the Premiere, and if that's the case, then it doesn't. But I'd be shocked if this didn't support AC, because if it's kind of a premium Roku, it costs more than any of the other Rokus they make. So that is a good question. I will have to look that up. So we'll see what goes on. Arlen wants to see the little printer. I agree with you. I want to play with that and see how it works. I have a feeling, given it's one of those Kickstarters, that it's going to be really rough around the edges. So we'll see how that comes together. Hot Sauce Show also is curious about that little printer. So we'll take a look again at that one. Maybe we'll start playing with that this weekend. Let's see. Let me go back through some of the other stuff, because I was going for a while without really looking at the chat room here. So my kids just got home. You can probably hear them screaming upstairs. They're not upset. They just scream all the time. So yeah, keep shooting me some questions, everybody, so I can answer them for you. The other thing that happened, let me see if I can hook up my laptop to the TriCaster here, because I am very excited because NewTek, who makes my TriCaster, after 5 years, has finally announced some new hardware for the TriCaster, and that is something that I am eager to play with. Partly because at the end of the year I do like to get some equipment in here. There's a tax incentive for computers and stuff, and let me pull it up real quick here. NewTek TriCaster Mini. So the new TriCaster, and if you're into production stuff, you've probably heard of TriCasters before. What's neat about the TriCaster is that it's an appliance that does what you see here. So I can, well, right now it's not being very cooperative, but I can have these multi-level things going on. I can, for example, have like multiple layers on layers and all that kind of stuff. So when you see me do the wrap up each week, that's all being done in real time. And the new TriCaster Mini, let me see if I can find it here on the thing. The new TriCaster Mini, which is the one I've been using since 2014, just was announced, and it's pretty powerful because it can do 4K 60. So let me pull this up for you so you can see what it looks like. And yes, you could do like OBS or vMix, but OBS and vMix tend to have issues because you're using, just an off-the-shelf computer. This is something designed specifically for live production, and it's got FPGAs on board to do everything that it does. You've got, the virtual sets, which we've played with before, a whole bunch of other stuff. And what's really cool about the new one is that it is all IP-based. Let me see if I can find, let me go over here to more info on this thing. So this new one is totally IP-based. And what that means is that your sources are going to come in over NewTek NDI. I'm just trying to get a picture of this thing so you can see what it looks like on the back. I'll have to hunt around for it. So I use NDI a lot right now because if I want to capture a computer screen, for example, I don't have to hook it up to HDMI anymore. I can use a little app that will just take everything on the screen and push it out over the network, and the TriCaster takes it in and just uses it. I did a video all about NDI, which you can find in my master playlist down below to check it out. It's really cool technology, so I like to use that quite a bit. All right, let's see if we got some questions. Londog says it's going to be a great couple of weeks. Yeah, it should be. It's going to be busy. So I just wrapped up shooting the ThinkPad X1. And actually, Jake just emailed me looking for the edit, so I've got to just let him know that it's coming in about 2 hours because I had to stop the upload. Actually, 1 second here. No, we'll post tomorrow, and I'll get the edit to you in a little bit. We're streaming something. I needed the bandwidth. And this is my big issue with Comcast is that here's an example, right? My upstream bandwidth is limited, so I can live stream or send my video projects out, but not both, right? Because if I start uploading like I was doing before, it knocked me right off the network. So that was a problem. That's why you all lost me for a few minutes. So yeah, we'll start uploading to Jake in about 10 minutes or so. All right, so, oh, cool. So Anas Eljandi is having his firstborn by the new year. Very exciting. It's an awesome thing. It is the best thing ever to be a parent, and you will love it. It is just a joyful, even the moments that are not so joyful are still joyful. So you will enjoy being a dad. It's one of the best things that I have ever experienced. Sina says it's fascinating studying the USA market versus what he gets in Sweden. For example, he can't get Roku as far as he knows. Yeah, it looks like Roku kind of focuses on the US market. I'm sure they've got stuff in other markets too, but Roku was the first streaming box, and I think they came, or the people that founded Roku were from a company called Replay TV, which was a competing DVR to TiVo. And I had one of those replays. I loved it. I thought that was the best DVR out there. It had a lot of advanced features early on. It had commercial skip built in. This is back in 1999, 2000, probably around 2000-ish. They had commercial skip built in. The other thing that the newer version of their boxes did, again around 2000, 2001, is they allowed for networking also. So I had one upstairs and downstairs at my old house, and you could play things off the other one. It was really cool. It was a network DVR, like way back. So it was pretty good stuff. So I saw this right before he retracted the message about he said even dirty diapers as far as the whole fatherhood thing. Here's what's been interesting is that before I had kids, I was talking to a friend of mine and I said, I can handle a lot of stuff. It's just the puke and the poop that's really going to get me messed up. And they said, don't worry. When it's your kid, it's different, and they're right about it. It's look, I've seen some nasty diapers in my day, but it's when it's your kid, for some reason, like you're not as appalled. It's appalling, but it's not as appalling as it would be if it was somebody else pooping in your face, which has happened to me a few times. So that's it. Londog wants me to keep myself updated on new battery technologies. Great strides and technologies have occurred. When will we see them? What's funny with batteries and stuff is that we always hear about the next big thing with battery technology and then we never see it. So I'm going to kind of keep my powder dry on that topic until we actually get a product in hand that we can work with. So that's what I'm looking to see. But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it looks like they've found some ways to speed up the charging times on standard batteries. I've been waiting for capacitors to become more of a thing where you can just do a quick jolt and get the thing charged in a second or two. I think there's some drills and some small power or hand tools that do that, but I'd love to see that get into like a car, for example, so you could just throw a bunch of electricity in real quick and then drive off without having to wait a while. Montescatus wants to know if I ever got peed on a lot. A couple of times. The diaper technology, speaking of tech, the diaper tech is pretty good. Provided you change them on a regular basis, they'll hold a lot of pee. But with girls at least, you don't have as much of the aiming that boys can do. So I have 2 girls, and getting peed on is not as much of an occupational hazard with girls, I think, than it is with boys. At least so I'm told. Anas says he gets peed on a lot as a big brother and as an uncle, so he's ready for it. Yeah, I think that's the way to look at it. That's good. Good to have a positive attitude. Last Chicker is talking about graphene batteries. There's a lot of different technology that's out there. You know, it's funny. My dad was a battery engineer before he started his business a long time ago, about probably right around the time I was born, or just before I was born. He worked on the Apollo project. He worked on the life support batteries, and he has his name on a couple of battery patents too. I used to make we used to make little batteries out of nickels and salt water when I was a kid. It was pretty fun to do that. Salon Dog says, could you imagine buying a phone where the battery lasts 10 years? I would love a phone that had a battery that would last 10 years. I don't know if manufacturers would build a phone with a battery that lasted that long, given how they want to keep selling us phones, right? But that would be a nice thing. Or at least have a replaceable battery that could last that long. Jeff Miguel is asking, he has a MyCloud that I share with family. Is there a way for them to access files via Roku in a different location? Jeff, the only way that would work out off-site would be with a Plex server. That would work. But if your MyCloud is not the PR2100 or the 4100, you'll have a hard time with that because you need that hardware transcoding to really make it work. But I would dive into some of my Plex stuff. I did a video on transcoding, and you would be able to do that through Plex. And Plex will let you do that without having to buy the Plex Pass thing to try it out with. So here's my recommendation. I'm rambling on this answer because I'm thinking of things as I'm talking. My suggestion, if you want to try it, is go to Lon.TV/Plex. Sign up for a free Plex account. That's an affiliate link, by the way, but you don't have to pay anything. And install the Plex server on your computer if you don't have the PR2100 or 4100 from WD. And what you can do is have the Plex server run it on the computer, and you can point the server that you have on the computer at the NAS for its library, and then you can stream stuff remotely to people and see how it works. And then you might want to get the Plex Pass after that to do the hardware transcoding. If you have the PR2100 or 4100, I believe you get the transcoding without a Plex Pass already. So it would be a no-brainer if you had that one. Install the free server, and boom, you've got the ability to get stuff over to their Rokus remotely, and it'll handle all the transcoding. Bill wants to know if I had any problems with my OLED TV. LG is replacing this, I'm guessing his screen, due to a manufacturing defect outside of the TV's warranty. Bill, I have not, but I would love to hear what LG TV you have. So I have the C7, I think is the one I have, or the C6. Let me know which one you have, because if that's the case, I should probably get mine fixed too. But I've had no problems with mine. My only gripe with, actually, I have no problem with it. The only issue I have is how it's designed for one specific area, which is if something really bright white comes on screen, it will dim itself, and there's no way to disable that. I looked into it. You can't do it on my particular OLED TV. So if you're in a scene where there's a big bright white thing, it'll be really bright and white, and you'll actually see it dim as it's doing that. And I think it's doing that to protect the OLED cells or whatever, but that's the one issue I've run into with that. Last Chickers bought a 2017 Shield a month ago. He's on the waiting list for GeForce Now Beta, which was a big selling point of theirs, but it's not available. That's actually a good point, because they are pushing that quite heavily on the marketing, right? Let me take a look at their website. Look, people said I was really harsh on the Shield, and I think the reason why I was is that I felt like they were overselling what they put together. It's a good it's a great product. You know, they don't have to oversell it. And what happened was I'm looking it up right now to see what they're marketing. What they did is they said, hey, it's going to be faster, it's going to be this, it's that. And so, yeah, people are out there showing how the menu might be faster between the old one and the new one. Okay, you know, but I think what the enthusiasts are looking for is performance that they can actually get something from. And so let's see where they put that GeForce Now marketing, because I think that's a good point that's being made here is, let's see. Yeah, so they're focusing on the remote, cinematic experience, Dolby Vision and Atmos, upscaling, movies. You know, it's funny, when this thing first came out, it was all about gaming, right? Now it's everything but. Okay, yeah, so they are kind of selling this, right? As, look, you can play multiplayer, AAA. Yeah, huh. And you can't get, right, you can't get that because the beta is yeah. I would imagine they're going to be launching the service soon. It's great. That's what I mean. This is not a bad product. So I don't want people to think I'm just bashing it, but I think for what they were overselling what the capabilities are, especially of the Pro, because I was really hung up and still am over the fact that, you know, this up to 25% faster stuff is not what we were getting out of it. You know, can you say that maybe the menu is faster? I guess, but is that something is that the consumer expectation that, okay, the menus are faster, so I'm cool with it? I don't think so. I think it's folks that were doing Android emulation, like the Dolphin emulator. I mean, they wanted that horsepower. And I think what's happening too is now we're seeing it took a while before the Shield was outdone by any other Android device, including phones. But now some of the newer Snapdragon processors or Snapdragon are a lot faster. So, you know, look, it's a great product. I think they can't make it faster until the Nintendo Switch is faster. After that, I have no doubt we're going to see it happening, and I am still quite pleased that they are continuing to make the product because there is nothing else out there for enthusiasts if that ever goes away. So I don't want to be ungrateful to NVIDIA. I think they're great, but this time they think they oversold it a bit. That's my opinion. Let's see, what else we got for comments here. So yeah, so Last Sticker is waiting on that beta to come through. And I hope he gets it because it's a really good service, but he's right. They're kind of selling it as something you can do with it, yet you got to wait on the beta and you don't know how long it's going to take until you can get into it. I think what's going to happen is that perhaps, actually, wow, next week is already when Stadia is launching, I think. So when Stadia comes out, we'll have to take a look and see if NVIDIA maybe releases the full service. It would make sense because they just sent out this device or sold this new device. So it'd be a good time for them to maybe pick up some of the buyers of that device with the service. And if you're not familiar with the GeForce Now service, what's great about it is that they are not selling you the games in many instances. You're actually buying them on Steam, and I think the Epic Game Store or a portion of it, and then you're playing the games you own on other platforms through the NVIDIA servers. And I really like that approach. So if you think about it, like you could go with Stadia, buy your games from them, but if it meets the Google graveyard, as many other Google products have, then who knows what's going to happen with those purchases. In the case of GeForce Now, you're going to pay for the service, and the games you're going to buy separately on your Steam account, so you can play them on your computer 1 minute and then jump over to the streaming thing the next. And I think that's a really neat approach. So we'll see how that goes. William Wilkinson, here, let me pull up the chat so you can follow along here. I'm going to pop this window out here, pop out chat. And then you can all follow along as I answer folks here. William Wilkinson wants to know, do I have a NAS? Do you have to have a NAS or can it work on an external regular drive? I'm assuming he means Plex. And you can work on a regular external drive. So the NAS is not necessary. So what I did, just because my NAS had a lot of capacity, was for a long time I ran the Plex server on a PC, and I would have the Plex server look at the NAS. But if you have a big external hard drive, have at it. That'll work just fine as well. So that's another way you can get started. Let's see. Cena Farah, as far as I understand, the method of testing battery life from the phone manufacturers is based on a set of uses and intensity. And that makes it an interesting test of battery life of a phone. Yeah, see, that's the other thing with these batteries, is that they have a set number of cycles to them, and it really depends on how many discharge cycles you go through. whether or not you ever let it discharge. The batteries need to have that exercise from what I understand. So if you leave it fully charged all the time, that could be an issue there. Eric E. says, what's up? Longtime viewer. Welcome to the chat, Eric E. Let's see. So I'm looking like, every time I see hot sauce show, I'm looking for some hot sauce. I need to get some hot sauce. Yeah. I have some hot sauce upstairs. I love hot sauce. The hotter, the better. Okay, so Bill has the C7P just like mine. There's a square box burnt into the center of the screen. It's noticeable. Oh, really? All right, I'm going to go look into this. Bill, do me a favor. If you have any communication from LG, can you email me at Lon.TV? And then I'm curious, how did you get the TV to them? Because I threw out my box, it's gone. So I'd love to know what you went through there. I appreciate that, because if I have an issue, it would be good to get it resolved soon. I love that TV. I mean, every time I look at it, I'm just like, this is such a great TV. I just really enjoy it. I don't look at it enough, unfortunately, due to time. But MG Fur, iPad screen cleaning suggestions. Where did my, yeah, here it is. These are a past sponsor. But this is called the eye roller. You can check out, I think I had them on a weekly wrap-up thing for a while. And it's kind of a neat thing. It just rolls across your screen and gets a lot of the gunk up. That or like a chamois cloth is good. I would love to have some people in the chat suggest some better ways to clean screens too. That would be helpful. So definitely ask away there if you want. Let's see, I'm just checking the Amazon stream to see if anybody chatted with us on there. I don't think they have. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, so Monty Esquitas agrees that keeping a battery charged constantly is not good for it. So just every once in a while, exercise those batteries, folks. Hello, 3D Mark. 3D Mark is here. And Lon Dog says, it's all part of the illness. Hot sauce is a craving. It certainly is. You know what's funny is that your tolerance of hot sauces changes too. So when I first really was getting into hot sauces, I mean, sometimes it was like unbearable. I was like getting sprayed with pepper spray. And now I'm like, just bring it on. It's like, it doesn't impact me as much as it used to. So, but I'm sure hot sauce show's got something that'll put me back to the hospital or something. Let's see what else we got here. So I got to get going, folks, in about like 5 minutes, just so you all know. Dapster wants to know if I heard of the new Amazon True wireless earbuds. I have not. Let me see if I can look them up real quick. One of the things, I'm going to just see if I can find them on Amazon here. I have a particular issue with in-ear earbuds. I don't like them. They're not comfortable to me. And I can never find the right fit. So that's why I don't review a lot of earbuds. It's also hard too, because this is like a very hands-on channel. And it's hard for me to review headphones. Because of that, it's hard to show anything with headphones, and I can't like make sound on the YouTube that will sound like the headphones either. So it's hard for me to do that. But I think this is what I was asked about, which is Echo Buds, and yeah, so these are another one of these in-ear headphones. And this is why Apple updated theirs as well. But I just don't find them comfortable. And part of it too is that when I'm out and about, I walk the dog all the time. It's getting harder now in the afternoon because it's getting dark so early. But it's hard to hear the world around you. I like to be aware of my surroundings and stuff. So I love the regular AirPods. I think they're great because they're not in ear. They sit kind of in the ear, but not in the ear canal. So I really prefer these. Because they're a lot like the regular earbuds. They don't go into my ear canal, and they're a lot more comfortable, and they stay on all the time. So that's my preference. So the long answer is I'm probably not going to review them just because I can never get a good fit, and I don't think that would be fair to the product. So that's why I don't do that. So Lon Dog wants me to subscribe to Chase the Heat. All right, I will look into that. And Monty's got some good trivia on pepper spray. William has the same problem I have. He gets an earache from it and a headache. So yeah, I don't get a headache necessarily. I just don't like things in my ears. It's a weird thing that I've got. And it's funny too, because I've tried, and then a lot of these earbuds will come with different little connectors you can stick in to try to find the best fit. None of them ever work with me. So I think it's just me. And here's what's funny. So Monty says his AirPods don't fit him at all. His ears are two completely different sizes. So for him, it's probably better to go with the in-ear stuff. Cena's terrified of a totally wireless earbud, so he sticks to the over-the-ear ones. Actually, you know what else I have coming in soon is a new pair of Bose sound dampening headphones. It's coming in through the Vine program again. I was very upset with Bose and still am because my QC35s, which are just out of warranty, will no longer shut off. And the only thing they have for you, this is like everybody has this problem. You have QC35s, you will have this problem. And their solution to everybody writing in with an issue is here's a coupon to buy a new pair. I mean, really? So, and here we'll talk about this on the wrap up this coming week. So here's the flip side. Here's how to do it right. So, case in point, my wife's MacBook. I got her the MacBook from 2016. This is the one without the touch bar. So this is now 3 years old. I don't even think I got Apple Care on it. So it was, the year warranty was long expired. She had the bad keyboard, which everybody has. So again, widespread problem, bad keyboard, Apple acknowledges that. There's a repair program. It has a bad battery, or had a bad battery. There was another recall for the battery system. It's not a fire hazard battery recall, but there was some electrical system supplying the battery that was needed to be replaced. So that was an issue too. And then the computer was basically freezing up, and then it would lose the hard drive. The hard drive would dismount and just be gone. It would just disappear. So I sent it in, and they fixed the keyboard and the battery. It came back, and it had the hard drive issue still. So I said, oh, great. It's probably going to cost me money to replace the hard drive, but you know what? It's out of warranty, so I'll deal with it. So I got back on the chat. So I never go to the Apple store. Never go to the store. You do the chat. So I go back on the chat, and I'm like, hey, the computer came back. The keyboard's great. The battery's probably going to be great. But the issue we had initially is still there. So they sent another box, sent the computer back, and what do you know? They replaced the hard drive for free, didn't charge me, and I had the computer back a day after I sent it in. What's crazy is that in both instances, when I shipped this computer in, it flew from here in Connecticut to Texas. It arrived in Texas in the morning. It was back out the door that night. So by the time I was there, not even a day. I couldn't believe how fast it was. And they didn't charge for any of the service. I was expecting to pay for the hard drive. So that's what you do, right? If you want to keep a customer and you've got a widespread issue, then fix it. They didn't know, that I got a small YouTube channel. That wasn't it. They just did the right thing. So you never get that service, though, at the Apple Store. So that's been my experience. If you have an issue, send it in to Apple through the mail-in service. It's always worked great for me, and I would strongly recommend that. So do that. Nitrox wants to know if I'm going to review the Echo Studio. What is the Echo Studio? There's so many Echo things now. Let's look up the Echo Studio real quick here and see what that's all about. Let me pop that up. These Echo things are hard to review too because they all do the same thing. So, when it first came out, you had to talk about what it was. And, it's funny. If you look at the Echo Studio, let me pull it up real quick. It looks kind of like that subwoofer we just unboxed, doesn't it? So it looks like a higher fidelity. Maybe I'll take a look at that. Looks pretty cool. It's got a lot of speakers on it. Look at that. Very cool. Maybe we'll check that out and see what it's all about. So let's see what the chat is on that one. So it has Atmos capability too. I'll have to explore this a little bit more. And it's not out yet too, so I could order this and we'll have an early review of it. Probably would be smart to order this, wouldn't it be, everybody? It's funny, they're really pushing this out late, right? If it's in stock, or maybe has it shipped, is it already out? Maybe it's out and they just ran out of stock. Because I was thinking December 10th is late for holiday shopping. Maybe nice, still have some time. Well, it supports Apple Music. Look at that. Apple's gotten a lot better about supporting other hardware, haven't they? Yeah, Alexa's going to help. Maybe Alexa can change the diaper for this guy. The poop diapers, Oh, Okay, when you wirelessly connect Echo Studio with Fire TV Cube or Fire TV Stick 4K, you'll feel oh, it works with that, huh? Very cool. Oh, we'll have to check that out. That actually might be useful. Huh, that's cool. All right, so maybe I will, tell you what, everybody, I will order one of these right now. Let me do that. Because we can never have enough stuff to review here on the channel. And the good thing is that when I order this stuff and I decide it's not something I need to keep, I can sell it to one of you at a lower price, and we all do well, right? So that's how the community works. All right, so I'm going to have this shipped to my house, and then I'm going to forget that I ordered this, and then it's going to show up, and I'm going to be like, oh, that's right, I ordered this thing, and then I'm going to scramble to review it. So that is what we're going to do. So let's place the order. Boom. All right, ordered. So the answer to your question is yes, I will be reviewing it. And we'll try out the TV thing. So thank you, Nitrox, for the suggestion. That's great. U.S. Mail will never buy an Apple product. That's okay. Look, people have different preferences, you know, and if you had a bad experience, I could see why you wouldn't buy another Apple product again. I'm done with Bose for the most part. So hot sauce, I don't know. See, here's the thing. Like, I've used the QC35s. I haven't used all that much. So I use it anytime I go on a plane. That's the only time I've ever used them. So I don't use them around the house. And I've been on, since I've got them, 4 or 5, 6 flights. I mean, that's it. And I keep them in there in the case that they came with when I'm not using them. And some folks had found that the plastic switch sits, or there's a plastic piece that sits over the switch that's on the circuit board for the headphones. And this one guy found that the plastic square thing that goes on top of the physical switch had cracked, so it wasn't grabbing onto it, and it was just locked in the on position. So I thought that was my problem. So I went on YouTube, I found the guy's video, I took the things apart, and then I was going to follow the procedure he followed, which was just wrapping some wire around the plastic piece to hold it together. So I fully expected that to be my issue. When I opened it up, my thing was pristine. I mean, there was nothing broken at all. And I think what's happening is that something electrically is bad with the switch on it. And my suspicion is that when it's in the case that it came with, the case might be pushing down on the switch a little bit, and that might be what eventually broke it. So it's funny. It's the opposite of wear and tear. It's just storage that I think broke the headphones on the QC35s. Dapster says on Bose, buy other sound equipment. Yeah, I think I'm there. So yeah, I mean, look, I wouldn't be as upset with it if they fixed it. So in the case of Apple, look, you may not like Apple, but I'll tell you what, for a bulk of the Apple products that I use every day, when there's been an issue outside of warranty that was widespread, after some time, sometimes they don't respond right away, but eventually they make good for the customer. And I've had a number of instances where I've had new motherboards installed, new displays, just because there was a widespread issue that they addressed. And this has now happened for my products. For the last 3 or 4 products I've owned have been done that way. But Bose was like, nope, sorry, just buy another one. So MG First says, wow, a different take on Apple to a certain Mr. Rossman. Well, look, I think Lewis has got a very valid point when it comes to third-party repair, because eventually there will be an issue with my MacBook that can't be fixed by Apple, and I would like the option out of warranty to choose who repairs my stuff. Apple has taken a different position now, which I think is a good start, which is that for out-of-warranty iPhones, they're going to start anointing third-party shops to be able to repair them. Apple's concern, and I think this is a valid concern from Apple, their concern is that they didn't want to just start selling parts to anybody because they couldn't validate whether or not that person was qualified to fix that phone. And in the case of these phones where you have these lithium-ion batteries, if you're putting in bad parts or you're doing things incorrectly, it's possible these batteries can catch on fire. I mentioned my father was a battery engineer. When I got my first computer with a lithium-ion battery in it, he was like, are you sure that thing's going to be safe? Because he remembered working with lithium batteries back in the 70s, and it was a very volatile thing. They didn't like working with them because they would so easily catch on fire. Now they're controlled by computers that keep them from, becoming basically fire generators, I guess. So that's part of, I think, what Apple's been dealing with here. And of course, they're making money on repairs. So now what's going to happen is that they're going to, if you have a third-party shop, you have to have a storefront. You can't just be working out of your house. You have to go in and get a certification exam. You got to go to a testing center and get tested. And if you pass the test and have the storefront, then you can buy parts from them and be able to make repairs. And what's interesting is I looked at my state. My state does not certify or require a license for phone repair people. So if you want to fix televisions, you have to get a license and show that you have aptitude. If you want to fix a radio, you have to get a license. But for phones and computers and other equipment, you don't need a license. There's nobody looking at whether or not these people are able to actually fix this stuff without burning your house down. And I can understand where they're coming from with this. I really do, because they don't want, a batch of phones to start catching on fire that's not their fault. And I totally get it. So I think what they're doing is coming up with a good process here of certifying whether or not the person is capable of repairing it. Louis Rossmann clearly is. And I think they're going to start becoming a lot more flexible on this, to be honest with you. Because to be honest, most people are going to go to the Apple store by default in most cases. And it'll be up for these smaller shops to really, advertise their services. And Apple will still make some money on the repair sales to those folks. So I don't see any reason why Apple won't expand this program. And I'm glad they're doing it. And I think and Louis actually acknowledged that too. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Dapster says they also released their 3rd gen Echo smart speaker. They did. I probably maybe I'll get one of those. We'll see. They're so hard to review because it's like the same thing, So let's see. Amazon also just released their. Okay, I got that one already. Having Atmos and hooking up to a TV. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work because it's a single speaker on that Echo Studio. So I don't know how it's going to present the audio to you, or you have to position it somewhere. We'll play around with it. You know what I really want to get? There's that Bose soundbar that I've been seeing. Not Bose, Sennheiser soundbar. It looks and sounds amazing. If you haven't seen this thing, check it out. Not cheap. It's like $2,600. But if you were to compare that versus getting all the speakers and a really nice receiver, I think it's a pretty good price. Atmos compatible. It's amazing. Just look it up. The Sennheiser soundbar. It is great. Ankit wants to know how my LG OLED is holding up. It's holding up just fine. I haven't done a lot of stuff on the LG OLED as far as watching TV too much with it, just because I'm always working. But it's been good 2 years out. I've been really happy with it. But a viewer just told me about some issues he had with his, and he's got the same one I have. So I've got to take a look at some stuff. He's going to email me. 3D Mark was disappointed about the Prime 6. Yeah, I'm sure they are just as frustrated. I haven't talked to Ted about it in a while. And I think, a couple things. This is not their position. This is my gut. If you look at how many people are cutting the cord, it's going to be it's an important product that they have to make because there's a bunch of us out there that want that 6 tuner, including me. Right now, there's no cable device that they're selling at all right now because they can't make the Prime 3 anymore because the components are no longer being manufactured. And if they change components, they got to go through the whole certification process every time to get through Cable Labs so that they're not held accountable for any piracy issues and stuff. And I think, too, when you look at the market, a majority of the market is cutting the cord and would not be in the market for a Prime 6, but they would be in the market for an over-the-air tuner. So I think that's rightfully where they've been focused because that's where the growth is going to come from. It's not going to come from those of us still on cable because most people are not going that way any longer. I would be surprised, to be quite honest with you, within the next the next 5 years, I think the TV offering from Comcast is going to be remarkably different than it is right now because they're losing customers left and right. This business model has never been good for Comcast because Comcast right now, so let's say you turn on your basic cable. Here's a great example of how bad the business is for Comcast. You turn on your basic cable, you pay $50 a month, you get all these channels that you don't watch. Comcast is paying them, those providers, every one of those cable channels to have those cable channels on your plan. So you are eventually paying for it because you're paying Comcast. Comcast pays them. And then what happens is ESPN says, hey, if you don't pay us more, then we're going to drop you. And they can run to satellite or one of the 1,200 other competitors that are out there. So Comcast, and look, they're no angels here, but they are in a position where all of these networks have had them by the you-know-whats because Comcast has had to pay them for the right to carry the network. The way things work now with these over-the-internet things like Netflix is the reverse, because if Netflix wants to get you the fastest spin-up time, they need to be on Comcast network. And there's a whole net neutrality argument here to be made, but the reality is that the physics of how these networks work is that you will get better performance if your desired server is closer to your desired customers than in some server farm far away. So what Comcast does is they say to Netflix, hey, if you pay us, we'll let you co-locate in our facilities and use our network a lot closer to the customers, and they pay for that. So think about this. Comcast used to have to pay everybody to have the right to carry their channel. Now everybody's paying Comcast. Which direction would you take if you were Comcast, right? So I think that's where we're headed with the cable industry, is that I wouldn't be surprised if they drop the TV service completely and then offer you a competing streaming service that Netflix or one of these other folks would provide, and they can get out of this whole pay the ESPN thing altogether. And it's going to be really disruptive when this really starts happening. There was one cable system, a small one somewhere, that started doing this in New York. So this is coming. And it's going to, I think, tank a lot of the smaller cable networks. And it might actually create some issues for the ESPNs of the world, because a lot of their revenue comes from what you're paying Comcast for this mandatory thing that they force you to pay for. So we'll see. But that's my thought. Monty wants to know if I have the Acer 5 hanging around. No, we sold that one. That one went really quick. So that was a popular laptop, and a lot of those are getting sold actually on through my affiliate links too, actually. So it's a pretty popular one. Let's see. Some discussion of Bose going on here. Umar wants to know, do I use the MacBook 12-inch as my main daily driver? I do when I'm sitting here at the desk. This MacBook 12 is this is the original one from 2015. This is my studio computer. So this one always sits here. This is what you're seeing it generate now. And it's great. Unfortunately, they don't make it anymore. But the 12-inch MacBook, I think, is one of the best little computers ever made, because it's about the weight of an iPad with a keyboard, yet you get OS X. Great machine. My prediction, it did not come true this year. We're going to revisit my prediction video soon from last year. But my prediction is that within the next year or two, I think they're going to come out with another Mac this size, but powered by one of Apple's ARM processors, because I think it would be a killer product to have a super specialized Mac that could do like 4K video editing in a form factor this small. That's coming. I think that's happening. Let's see. I got to wrap up soon, guys, because it's almost dinner time upstairs. Got to get the kids fed and in bed. Any suggestion for a decent speaker for PC and a small... I don't really have one, unfortunately. Maybe some of the chat folks can fill in with that. William wants to know, when I record a video and send it to YouTube, can I use my gaming headset as a mic? Yeah, you could do that. It depends on how good the mic is on it, but you could plug it into your camcorder or something like that. Thank you, Carol, for the super chat. Much appreciated. Let's see. Most PC speakers don't last. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, speakers are often a very commoditized kind of device. Vitor is from Brazil. Hello. Lon.TV cut the cord 2 months ago. So there you go. More people cutting the cord. MG would like to have an interview with my dad. That might be kind of fun to chat with him about battery technology. And what I think it might be really fun maybe would be to have him and maybe someone who's working with batteries now in this century, because my father was working on batteries in the late 60s to the early 70s, and then he started his business and then left the industry completely. So his knowledge of batteries is certainly still relevant today, but I think the technologies and the chemistry is very different than what he remembers. It might be kind of fun to have him talk with somebody to see how things have changed. Because I remember him saying like he was terrified when I got that computer with the lithium battery in it. So that was back in 97, 98. Yeah, so Williams, ESPN now is on the internet, of course, and that's where it's going to go. I really think that we're going to see things happen here. Back in January, according to Dapster here, Spectrum threatened to remove channels like Fox and the CW. Yeah, and so the other thing that's happened is that back when these cable services first started, they would set up, this is really, CATV was community antenna television. They would set up a big antenna somewhere and get all the TV signals that you couldn't get at your house, and they ran a cable to you to get you the antenna stuff. That's how it worked. And then HBO came about and everything happened. So for a long time, I may be mistaken about this, but there used to be a must-carry rule, which said that if you were a local cable provider, community antenna provider, you had to carry everything that could be carried over the air and deliver that to customers. And somewhere along the way, they changed the rules to allow the broadcasters to charge the cable providers for carrying their networks. So that was a thing. And that's, I mean, this is going to be, for Comcast, I think any company, cable company that delivers internet is very well positioned now to take back some control over these costs, because Comcast is making more money from the internet side of the business than they are from the TV side of the business. And they don't need these broadcasters anymore. In the past they did, because if you lost ESPN or you lost some other channel that you want to look at, that would be a significant impact on their business. But with so many people now leaving the TV side but keeping the internet, they're much better positioned now. So we'll see how it goes. Some more suggestions. I need to do sauce reviews. That might be kind of fun on a second channel or something. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of this stuff like going on here that Dapster is describing. Any comments on the gaming system, Xbox or PS4? I am a Switch guy. I'll tell you what, I bought an Xbox One right when it came out. I've probably spent maybe 5 or 10 hours on it. I haven't used it all that much. It wasn't that much of an upgrade for me. I have a PC that I do a lot of my games on, but I love the Switch. I think the Switch is awesome. And the first-party Nintendo games are just completely entertaining. We've been playing Luigi's Mansion 3, me and the kids, and we've been having a blast with it. Yeah, new lithium-ion. Yeah, I'm sure they're working on trying to prevent these batteries from exploding, because that is a big area of consumer stuff. Fluxon wants to know, I have to clear my cookies to use the affiliate links. No, but I think if you're using an ad blocker, it might impact the affiliate links. I'm not, it depends on the site, but you shouldn't have to. So if you were to, let's say if you were to click on my affiliate link for something, and then you clicked on ETA Primes, whichever one you last clicked on will be the one that gets credit. That's how that works. Spectre wants to learn how to do interviews, but it's difficult finding people to interview. Well, I would say if you're trying to learn how to do interviews, maybe just interview people that you know in your life that are interesting, because I think everyone's story is kind of unique. And one of the things, and I'm still exercising my interviewing skills also, because the key thing with interviews is to not do most of the talking. Now, this is not an interview, because I'm just the only guy on camera right now, but the key is to ask questions and let the guests speak and try to draw more out when you speak again. And that's the making of a good interview. And I think it'd be helpful maybe just to get some people that you know to interview and then go from there. I would like to do more interviews. The reason why I haven't done more is that they don't get watched all that much. So it just hasn't been a priority, given that if I do a TV box review, I do much better. So that's been kind of the focus, but we'll do some more soon. All right. I've got to get out of here in a minute here, but yeah, so I think Stadia, I pre-ordered a Stadia, so when it comes in, you will see what it's like. So be on the lookout for that. Skidmark has, Skidmark, that's a good one. I am not having the error that you're seeing here. So you might want to call Nintendo about that, or check and see if you have an update. But Eric Willard is the same on the Switch. Yeah, I love that. I can't tell you how much I love that console. It's just been awesome. And I think, too, what's great about it? It's twofold. One is that it's become a great platform for indie developers, because a lot of the indie games don't have the hardware requirements that the top-end stuff requires. So, bulk of these indie games run great on the system. The other thing that I like about it, again, comes back to the Nintendo first-party stuff. And you know what? I think from the standpoint of its relatively limited horsepower, it drives greater creativity because they have to be more resourceful in creating the games for it. And if you haven't seen Luigi's Mansion 3 yet, check it out. It's got so much charm to it, and I'm surprised they're pulling it off on the Switch. It's exceptional, just so much fun. So, hey Aaron, first time live. Not for me, but maybe for you. I do pop on every once in a while and do this. So, all right. So, Lon.TV wants me to do a hot sauce review on this channel. All right. So maybe people send me some ideas for hot sauce, and we'll do that. But by the way, I do live streams randomly. We're going to start doing more, and just so you all know, I'm doing some stuff with Amazon shortly. So I'm live streaming to them right now as I'm talking to all of you, and these will be probably in. I think we're going to try to do like Sunday evenings, and I'll be simulcasting here, so you can watch here or on Amazon. And we're going to try to do some new stuff with on the Amazon side of things. So be on the lookout for that. And what we'll be doing is kind of a more topical thing. So I think we'll do the random unboxing stuff still, but we will also do kind of a topic. So I think the first one we'll do is probably going to be about Chromebooks, and we'll go through what a Chromebook is and isn't. And then talk about some of the different Chromebook options that are out there on Amazon, that sort of thing. So be on the lookout for that. I think we're going to try to do the first one, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, the 15th. What day is next Sunday? Let me check and see here. It is Friday. I'm sorry. So the first one is going to be Friday the 15th. And then after that, we're going to shoot for Sundays. So Friday the 15th, probably around 7 or 8 p.m. or so, and I will let you know. Aaron, I don't have the link at the moment, but actually, maybe I do. Let me see here. Let me pop in there and see where it's at, and I will get you that link. Let's see if I can find it. Oops. You know what I'll do, everybody? I'm going to talk about it on the wrap-up, so I will put a link to where you can find it there, because I got a couple different things going on with Amazon right now, so I'm not sure which one is which at the moment. So I will find it there for you and put it up there. So we'll have that going pretty soon. What's cool about Amazon is that they have this this neat thing as you're watching. Let me put this on camera for you here. So as you're watching, I can pull up like different products. So if I'm talking about the Roku Ultra, when I click on that, it'll pop up. And what also happens apparently is that if people are out shopping for some of the items that I'm talking about, it actually puts the live stream into the search for them. So this is going to be a fun thing to watch during the holiday shopping season. So I've got a couple of different topics in mind. So we're going to cover, like I said, we'll cover Chromebooks. We'll cover maybe network attached storage. I've done some of these as videos before, but we'll do just like a topical thing. I'll take questions. I'll show you some stuff. It'll be kind of fun, and we'll see how it goes. You can watch it here or over on Amazon. All right. Well, I've got to run because it is dinner time. I got to get the kids fed, and if we don't feed them by like 6, then bedtime becomes a lot later. So that is how it's gonna happen. And Eric did get his Amazon Studio, so I thought it would be out. Yes, I have a Twitter account. If you go to twitter.com/LONSEIDMAN, you can find me on Twitter as well. I'm starting to do some stuff on Instagram too, so check that out as well. So that is where we're at. Yes, we've been going for almost over an hour now. So we were unboxing a bunch of stuff. So what I'm probably going to do is edit some of the unboxing. We'll put that up on Sunday, and we'll do one of these again soon. These get archived at my live stream archive at Lon.TV/livestreams, so you can just let them run. And that is how it goes. So sorry you just got here, Aaron. Unfortunately, we're closing up shop, but you can rewind. And again, this will be available in its entirety pretty soon on the playlist. Sorry, Cody. Yep, you missed out too. That's all right. The best thing to do is to set your notifications on the bell, and that will let you know when we go back live again. So sorry about that. I'm going to try to schedule these more often. We will have a firm start time for the first Amazon stream. So that you will hear about, and then we'll go from there. My weeks are so crazy that I never know when I can actually have time to block off to go on. So, the meat and potatoes of this channel is the recorded content, so that's always got to be first priority, but we will definitely try to do more of this. So, all right, I got to run because I got a mess to clean up, I got stuff to hook up, and I got kids to feed. Kids to feed are the first objective. After that, we'll go from there. So that is it, and it looks like hot sauces are something we got to start playing with. All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it, and we'll be back next time. And be on the lookout for all of this stuff on the main channel. Talk soon. Bye-bye.